All right, let's be honest. Who likes middle school or middle schoolers? Wait. That's not what I meant. I meant the social aspects of middle school and just middle school in general. I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say no one here liked middle school. Maybe you had like friends and shit, but overall, your middle school experience, looking back on it, sucks. And to be honest, middle schoolers and middle school in general is annoying as hell. And that's what today's video topic. Hi, if you haven't known, I'm animate-bottle. If you guys know me in real life, I'm Nathan. Hi, hello. And today we are talking about middle school and middle schoolers, that like age area, right? And how it was absolute dog shit. I'm gonna be honest right here. No one liked it, right? First, you got the students and just like the age group around. Now, you're in middle school, so I think, if don't get me wrong, if this is right or not, I think it's between like ages like 10, 11, 12 to like 14, like 13, 14, right? And so for some reason, when we were all at that age, I don't know if this was most of us, but we all tried to act older than we actually were, right? When we heard the word teenager or preteen, we think, oh, we're maturing now. We're becoming an adult, right? Reality, it's not that. It's not true. Like it's like, yes, it's a point of a time of a life where we're changing, but in reality, we're still fucking kids. Make that same argument in high school, but in high school, I feel like you have a bigger change than you did in middle school. Because in middle school, everyone's being performative. I'm gonna be honest. Majority of people are performative, right? And it's mainly because, again, middle school is in the middle, right? It's not high school. You're not at like the quote unquote best years of your life yet, because people peak in high school, right? You're not a kid anymore. You're not in elementary school. You're in middle school. It's literally in the name. And so when it comes to that, it comes with like levels of like, I don't know, like something about like, always wanting to look older, because you're like, oh, I'm not an elementary kid anymore. I'm a middle schooler. Most of the time when you try to act mature, it just comes off as corny as hell. All right, let's just be honest, okay? And it's just annoying, right? Like, no one's sitting here thinking, oh yeah, I was so mature for my age in middle school. Nah, right? And just the environment of middle school as well is so chaotic, because elementary school, everyone's a kid. Maybe there's some kids who are taller than you, some kids are shorter, some kids who are more kiddish, some kids who are more quiet. And in high school, you got freshmen and sophomores, you're still kiddie, and like mostly all grades. But when you get like a junior or a senior, you become more like serious, right? With middle school, it's whole variance, because you got kids coming in from elementary school still looking like 5-year-old babies, but then you have motherfuckers who hit puberty at like 12 to 11 years old, having almost full-grown beards, being like 5'12" or like 6 foot, and it's just like a varying different levels of people at different stages in life. Because at least in high school, in some cases, you guys are all on the same playing field, depending on your grade. When in middle school, you don't even know what the hell is going on, right? And it's just so chaotic. So you have all these different peoples with all these different stages of life where everyone's corny, but no one wants to admit it. And again, circling back, high schoolers in general, we weren't in it. All right, let's be honest. If your school had a school dance, did you guys hype it up like the most craziest thing ever? But then see those clips online where it's like everyone stands in the corner and there's like maybe a mosh pit, and there's like one kid dancing and everyone cares about it. Yeah, that shit was corny as hell, I'm not gonna lie, right? Or maybe like there was some like school event that everyone was going crazy for, but in reality it was just as equivalent as like a field day in like elementary school. Like people try to hype up, like at that time when you're in middle school, try to hype up these things like the most mature and awesomest thing ever, when in reality it wasn't really that amazing. All right. And besides like the events and stuff that oh my gosh, it's in middle school, there's a big difference between elementary school, and there really isn't. There's also like the just like the humor sucks as well. I'm not gonna lie, middle schoolers are not funny. Quick little story time, by the way. I remember I wanted to go to the movies, but since I was a lonely ass chud, right, I didn't have anyone to go with. So my brother, who is a year younger than me, and this is I think I was like a sophomore or a freshman, right? And I was making my own money at a job, and I still have my job, but that's besides the point. I decided to make the worst decision ever and go with a group of middle school boys to watch Mean Girls, the musical in theaters. Okay, I know. Don't question why I wanted to go watch Mean Girls. I like the original. I thought it was a remake. Doesn't matter. That's not a part of the story. And especially for middle schoolers, it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, they wanted to sneak into the movie theater. Now, if you want to sneak into a movie theater, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you if you do. Honestly, those ticket prices are scams anyway. But these guys were the most dumbest motherfuckers on earth. When they wanted to say, oh, let's sneak, what they did was they stood as a group at the front doors, yapping and talking, went back downstairs so the guards and everyone could clearly see we were together, but only 3 of us walked in. So now I'm here trying to buy my ticket, like not trying to be like associated with the other two, which was my brother and his other friend. And literally, when we were buying our tickets, the guard literally said, "Yeah, and only you guys better get in. If anyone else comes in, you will be kicked out and you won't get a refund." I was trying to sell this shit, so I was trying to play it off like, what? Like, no, I'm not trying to do that. But then they were trying to pay for their tickets and then realized, oh, we don't have enough money for them. Like 2 people, like they're trying to sneak in like an extra 3 more people, and 2 of them couldn't pay tickets. So I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, already bought my ticket, like, oh, and now the employees and the police guard who's at the movie theater already know what's going on. So they're like, hey, let's just leave, right? So now I look even awkward. So they clearly know what we were doing and clearly know everything. So I had to go to the employees, get a refund, and leave. And then we went to the Regal right next to it. And obviously we couldn't sneak into that movie theater. So I had to pay for everyone there, which was, it wasn't fun because I was the only one with a job and everyone was like trying to scrounge up money. I'm like, okay, let me just pay for these guys. Like it was so annoying. And even as when we got into that showing of Mean Girls, they were so loud. Now granted, Mean Girls, the musical, wasn't a great movie. It's not better than the musical, and it wasn't better than the original, right? But that's besides the point. These guys couldn't shut up for the life of me. And I don't know what's up with middle school boys, but they want to be the most annoying people on earth. And yes, there's annoying people everywhere, but I don't know why they think it's cool in middle school. It doesn't make any sense, right? And I was annoying too in middle school. I'm not gonna sit here and say. And also, by the way, any middle schoolers watching this, don't worry, because this is a part of life. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wasn't annoying as well in middle school, but this is something I gotta point out. And you right now, you say, oh, I'm not that bad. Trust me, you're gonna think you're that bad. 50, like 10 years down the line, 5 years when you're halfway through high school, right? This is not a shade to be like, oh, you guys suck right now, right? It's just, looking back on my experience in middle school and then people in general, it's just what happens, right? We all go through a corny phase. It's not like none of us do. None of us are nonchalant ever, right? But that's besides the point, And just like overall, just the environment of middle school is just super toxic in my opinion. Everyone's trying to be what they're not, and to be fair, this happens in high school too, but in middle school it's just 10 times worse because why are you trying to act older than you already are? Act like kids, right? You are kids. Be okay with being kids, You don't have to exaggerate all your things just to look older than you actually are. And also, by the way, keep in mind, if you're a middle schooler, here's a small tip: don't let people pressure you or doing quote-unquote adult things because you want to be cool. I think this is just a life lesson. Don't do things you're not comfortable with. And if people say, oh, you gotta be cool, you're in middle school now, or whatever, just don't. Trust me, I had people in middle school who did crazy things that I was like, what? And it was just like, whoa. Like, I'm not gonna get into this video because I'm not trying to put that shit on the internet because I'm talking about it, but just letting you know, people did wild shit. Don't be like them. You can just still be a kid while you are. Just enjoy middle school for what it is. and you'll be fine, right? Just don't be loud, don't be obnoxious, don't try to act grown. All right, you're not grown, that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Just be yourself, but be respectful. Don't be annoying. That's all I'm asking, right? And overall, middle school is just, I don't know. Middle school is a life stage we all go through, but it's just the most annoying part of it. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back at my middle school self, they're not like my best moments, and that's fine. But I just had to rant about this. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll post more, hopefully. I have another video in the works that that it might not be as great, but just stay tuned for that. See ya.